Yeah.
Love it. Well, I'd like to speak about one hockey player in particular that is known as the Great One. Anyone know who I'm speaking
Gretzky.
of? Wayne Gretzky. Now, even if you don't know anything about hockey and you don't like figure skating or hockey, you got to admit, if someone's called the Great One, they've got to be pretty darn good. Yes? Well, Wayne Gretzky in high school was on a AAA team, which is like a junior varsity sort of level of team. And he was really frustrated because he wasn't getting any playing time. And I know, it's crazy, right? He was like, I'm super frustrated, Dad. So one Sunday morning, he's sitting at the breakfast table with his dad, and he says, Dad, I love hockey so much, but I'm super frustrated. My coach won't put me in. It's like, what can I do? And Wayne caught his dad on a really good Sunday morning because the day before, he had been watching the Olympics, and he had been watching the ladies' gymnastics event. And the announcer said, hey, all these gymnasts are amazing athletes. When they step onto that Olympic floor to compete, they're all a 9.2. They all had to be fabulous to get here. And really, today's competition is all about adding those little 0.2s and delivering a stellar performance. And so Wayne's dad was thinking, he goes, you know what? I am going to come to every one of your practices. I'm going to come to every one of your games, and I'm going to rate you on the RAVE scale. And Wayne was like, okay, what's the RAVE scale? All right, so here's the acronym. The R stands for risk. Every time I see you taking a risk, I'm going to give you 0.2. I want you to take those shots on goal, even if you don't think it's perfect. I just want you to go for it and take that risk. The A in the RAVE scale stands for action. I want you to go to where the action is. I don't want you to skate to the other side of the rink and stay away from it. I want you to go to where the action is. And if you talk to any of Wayne's teammates and ask, hey, how did Wayne attack and skate on the ice? They say he never went to where the puck was. He went to where the puck was gonna be. Yeah, so he's always strategically placing himself where he knew that puck was going to be so he could get a goal. And if you ask his teammates, was he the best skater out there? Many of them go, no, he wasn't the best skater, but he was the best at strategy. He just kind of knew where that puck would be, so he was really smart. The V stands for virtuoso. Wayne's dad was actually a violin player in the Toronto Philharmonic Orchestra. And he said, Wayne, I want you to be a virtuoso on the ice. So sure enough, Wayne was always at practices, early or late, working on his footwork, working on his stick skills, working on his quickness, his power. The last thing in the RAVE scale is energy. I want you to be an energy giver. Yeah, I want you, no matter what you're doing, to be giving that optimism, giving the energy. And if you ask his teammates, he would be in that hockey box when he wasn't on the ice, giving high fives, encouraging his teammates, and really creating that atmosphere of optimism. So I'm no mathematician here, but help me out. If he started at a 9.2 in high school, and I'm sure he was a great hockey player in high school, and he got 0.2 for doing all of those 4 things in one day, 0.2 times 4 is
8.
0.8. 9.2 plus 0.8 is
10.
10. That's our perfect score. Now it's interesting because Wayne's dad never gave him a perfect 10. He was probably like, thanks, Dad, right? But I think he did that because he wanted Wayne to remember there's always room for improvement. Anyone know what jersey number Wayne played under and retired under? Haha, 99. So this is symbolic that, hey, I've always got room for improvement. And this meant a lot to Wayne. Now, my takeaway from this story is we all need a bit of help to get through the tough spots in life. And Wayne's dad was brilliant because he gave him a roadmap to success. He gave him behaviors that he needed to do to be successful. And he really focused on what he could control to be successful. Now, question for all of you, Do all young athletes, maybe young academics who want to be successful in pursuit of their goals, get a roadmap for success and get that kind of support from a role model or a parent or a coach?
No.
Unfortunately not. And I would argue that most teenagers and most young adults today have a lot more challenges than we ever had when we were kids, living in this technological age. So what challenge are teenagers facing today, even young adults? Well, just going to mention a few. There are unrelenting academic and athletic pressures from a lot of high-performing parents out there. We also have a whole lot more time spent on media, whether you're sitting in front of your laptop doing homework, which I have 2 kids, and I tried to get them off those computers, and oh, no, I have to be on the computer. All my homework's on my computer. Yeah, it's hard to get them off. Screen time, they're on social media. There's all kinds of really hazardous things on social media. Feelings of isolation. Because we're on social media and we're on our internet, we're connected with the world, we should feel more connected, right? But that's not what we're finding. Kids are reporting really high levels and feelings of isolation because you might have a lot of friends online, but they're not seen as those friendships that are really solid, that you can really count on when you have challenges. So again, there's more challenges out there, but those are just a few. So what are the outcomes of all these challenges? Well, unfortunately, we see really high levels, increases in risky behaviors, drug use, self-harm, gaming, right? A lot of addictive behaviors with media. We also see really high numbers, skyrocketing numbers in depression, anxiety, and unfortunately suicide. And I'm not going to go through all these figures, but depression, we see about 22.8% of adults are depressed. But in high school kids, it goes from about 45 to 56%, really high levels. That's like half of our kids are suffering from depression. And it went up by 3 times during COVID. We also see increases in anxiety disorders and unfortunately increases in suicide. In 13 and 14-year-olds, that's the leading cause of death right now. So what is to be done? We need to support our teens. We need to give them a roadmap to success and help them to build their mental toughness muscles. We can't just have good intentions. We actually have to do something about it. So what is to be done? Well, we here at Mentally Tough Edge have mental toughness in-person group and team workshops where we cover a lot of great stuff. We help teens to build self-awareness. We help teens to really identify what are your core values and what is your passion? What is your why? What really gets you out of bed in the morning and motivates you? So when you get to those challenging times, you can keep pushing through. We really want to help teens to develop self-awareness so they really understand their own body. So as they're showing up on competition day, or maybe they show up for that really hard math test, how do I deal with that fight or flight response? Right? How do I stay calm and show up just like I do in practice? We also have a lot of, and I'm just going through a few here. We do a lot of goal setting. How do you hold yourself accountable? Increase levels of optimism, and then self-talk. If your self-talk isn't helping you, how do you reframe it and ensure that you're thinking in the right way? So we want to arm kids with mindset and emotional regulation tools so that when they do experience challenges and things that are really difficult, they make better decisions. So you can't just put a Band-Aid on the problem after it occurs. We want to safeguard them and really be proactive, giving them a roadmap to success, how to think, how to deal with difficult emotions so they can show up and prevent mental illness and all kinds of negative outcomes. So my third point today is mental toughness can be developed. We actually have over 100 years of psychological research that gives us all kinds of great tactics, great paradigms, and they're not really being used very much. Most kids will go through trouble and then they have to go to therapy, and that's a long, expensive process. why not use all this great psychological research that's out there? And at Mentally Tough Edge, we are using research from cognitive behavioral therapy, positive psychology, sports psychology, and mental toughness research. Our mission at Mentally Tough Edge is to positively affect over 1 million kids in the next 3 years. And I need your support. I need your help. If you know of any teenagers, young adults who could benefit from mental toughness, or if you know of any decision makers, educational institutions, youth sport leaders, sport coaches, leaders of parent groups that are influential in making decisions on bringing these programs to kids, please connect with me. Remember, with a great mindset comes great results. Can I count on your support?
Yes.